All right, so this is the lecture number 69 inside our DSC series, and we are solving the problems related to arrays, and we have already solved the problems related to numbers, number system, and patterns, and 1D array and binary search. So from now onwards, we would be solving the problems related to 2D arrays. So what are 2D arrays? In this video, this is the dedicated video for 2D arrays introduction. I would be discussing the introduction of 2D arrays. So we are going to see 2D arrays, and D stands for dimensional, two-dimensional. Fine. So if you remember what are like a 1D array, so we were having an array like in our previous problems, we were solving the problems related to arrays. So array was in this linear format, 5, 6, 7, and 9, one after another. Fine. So that means it was a 1D array, like it is only in one dimensional. It is only in this axis. So this was in one dimensional. What are 2D arrays? Like 2D arrays can be in this dimensional, in this dimension, also in this dimension, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 2, 1, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3. So this can be in this dimensional also. This is also an array and this is also an array. Like array can be one dimensional and two dimensional also, even three dimensional also, multi-dimensional we used to call them, but we are going to see only two dimensional because that is the fair point which we have to prepare for college placement or whatever. Fine, because 3D pointer is not going to be asked in many cases, but if you have to declare, then you can declare them. There is no issue. Like I would be putting down some links related to 2D or multi-dimensional arrays. You can check out from there, but the point is for solving the questions, whatever knowledge is required to us, we would be gaining the knowledge from here. Fine. So like a 2D array can be represented in this form. You might get confused that whether the element are stored in this form, like on axis, on y axis. So the answer for this question is no. Elements or the memory consumed by these elements are in linear format only, one after another. But just to show you or to get you understand better or to represent, we used to declare or show our 2D array in this format, or else our elements are going to be stored in this format only, one after another, in the linear form. Fine. So this was this, and if you remember, I have covered one point in 1D array. Let us say we were having this as a stack, call stack, you can consider as call stack or the stack in the memory, and here we were having heap also. Fine. So while declaring the 1D array like this, so once you write the new keyword, that means you are declaring something into your memory, either in a stack or it might be in a heap. This is conditional. Let us suppose 5 size. So what it used to do, like a block was created here. Let us say this block is created, and the memory for 5 elements is being assigned to this block. Let us say in heap there was a block of 6 size. Let us say, sorry, 5 size. So this is, let us say the address for is this 5k, 6k, 9k, 10k, in this way. It can be any other. So the address for this block was stored into this, and this is nothing but your this a variable, right? So this is how the 1D array was created. So creation of 2D array was very similar to the 1D array. Let us see the syntax first. What is the syntax for creating 2D array? So this is for 1D array syntax, and if we have to declare a 2D array, then what we have to do, inside our 1D array we used to put 1 square brackets, and while declaring 2D array, you have to put 2 square brackets. So ARR of 1 square bracket, 2 square bracket equals to new and the type of the array for which you are declaring, and the column size, sorry, the row size, which is row size, and the column size. Fine. So if you remember, and the memory is going to be in this format only, and there would be a variable and memory would be assigned, let us say for row, and each row would be pointing some column memory. So this is how it is being stored in the heap. Fine. So if you are worried about the heap, then I would be putting the putting down the link into the description. You can check out from there. But my motive is to explain you what is 2D array, how we can insert value, how we can detect value, and how we can iterate over 2D arrays. Fine. So this is the main concept of this particular video. So let us see. If you remember, I just shown you how we can represent the 2D array. So we used to represent 2D array like this. Let us say we are declaring a 2D array of 3 rows and 3 columns. Fine. So this is rows and this is columns. So there would be 3 rows and 3 columns. So first row, second row, third row, first column, second column, third column. So if I have to declare this type of structure, then what I have to write? I will have to write this way. Int a, there would be an space here, or else like write this way. So int the type of the array a and 2 square brackets, because we are declaring 2D array, equals to new the type of the array again, 1 square brackets, 2 square brackets. Fine. So in the first square brackets, you have to mention the row size, which is this 3, and in second square brackets, you have to mention the column size, which is 3 here. Let us say you have to declare this shape, 2 rows and 3 columns, 2 rows and 3 columns. So how would you write? You would write same as here, and new int 2 rows and 3 columns. So if you have written this, then it would be creating this much of space in the memory for you. If you have written this, then it would create this much of space for you. So this is the declaration part for the array, 2D array. Let us see how we can assign values into this array or access this particular array. Let us see you have been stored here. Let us say initially all the elements are 0. In Java, initial values for arrays are 0. So initially all the values are 0. Let us say you want to put some value on this index. So how you will address this particular index? You will check what is the row for this column. For this element we are in the second row, and what is the column for this? So we are on the second column. And to get you updated, I have written it wrongly just to explain you. This is not exactly 1 2 3. Instead of this, they are 0 1 2, because in the array I already told you indexes are on 0 based, so it would be 0 1 2. Same goes for column also. So 0 1 2, not 3 here. So we are on first row and first column. So if I have to put some value into this, then how I would be writing, or how I would be putting some value into this? Let us see. So we would be writing like this. A of, let us, the name of array is A. So A of 1, which is row, and the column 1. This is the column. A of 1 is equals to, let us suppose, assign 5. So what this line will do, this line would put 5 here instead of 0. So 5. Let us suppose you want to insert 3 at this index. So what you would write? A of first row and second column. So 3. This would insert 3 here. This is how you can insert value. And same goes for accessing value also. Let us suppose you have to access the value for this index. So how you would write? Int A is equal to A of first row and second column. Exact same as insertion, and you have to access this value. So you have to write A of 1 first row and first column. So this is how you can insert the value and access the value also. And let us see this in action, how we can write the code for the same. So this is the code for previous one. So let us start from here and clear this screen also. Fine. So what I have to do, let us say I want to declare an array of 3 into 3, 3 rows, 3 size. So I would be taking an input from the user for int I is equal to n. What is the size for row? Let us call it as row size, and take input from user as call size. Fine. So I would be declaring an 2D array. Look at very carefully how we can declare. Int a 1 square brackets 2 square brackets is equals to new int and the row size and the column size. So this is how we have to declare the 2D array. Look at very carefully. It is like in the case of 1D array, how we used to do. In the 1D array, we used to declare as row size, because in that we were having only rows. Fine. So like this, or we used to do, but in the 2D array, things are very different. So you have to declare this way. So this is for 1D array. Fine. And this is 2D array. Fine. So you have to declare this way. Now let us say I have entered in this 3 and in this 3 also. Fine. So what it would do for us, it has created a memory for us in this shape. Of course, in this shape, I mean not in this shape, but we can visualize the memory into this shape. Let us say it has created 3 rows for us and 3 columns for us. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Now what we want to fill this complete array. Let us say I want to, let us see it here. Let us say for now I want to insert 5 on this particular index. So what is the row here? It is 0, and what is the column here? It is 1. So I would be writing a of 0 and a of 1 is equal to, let us say, 5. So what it would do for us, it would remove 0. I mean, let us say previously we were having 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0. So suppose we were having previously 0, so it would remove 0 from here. Instead of this, it would write 5. So now our new array looks like this. So let us get to see this into action also. Let us print the value of this same index. So how we can print the value for this index? Println a of same as inserting the value, we have to access the element using the same approach. A of 0 and a of 1. So what you are expecting in the output, we should be expecting 5. So let us give it a run and erase this also. Fine. So let us enter 3 as row size and 3 as column size. So as you can see, we are getting 5 because we have entered a of 0, like a01, we have entered 5. Let us try to, let us firstly draw this 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Here it is 0. Let us say I want to enter 8 here. I want to put 8 at this position. So how I can write? We'll have to check the row and the column. So what is the row? 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So for this index or for this position, row is 2 and column is 1. So I will have to write a of 2 and column is 1. Store 8 here. Fine. So it is a, not ar. So here we used to specify row and here we used to specify the column. So this is how we can do. Let us print the value for a of 2 and 1 also. Let us give it a run. Fine. Now let us enter 3 into 3. So it is giving me 5 for this particular index and it is giving me 8 for this particular index. Fine. Let us suppose if I want to insert value for the first row, like I want to insert the value on all the columns of the first row. So what I would write, there are 3 rows. See it very carefully. I know this is really boring, but this might be very useful for some students. So I want to fill all the columns of the first row. So a of 0 is equals to a of 0, let us say 1, and there are 3 rows. So a of 0 and a of 1, a of 2. Fine. So what it will do for us, let us analyze these 3 lines and ignore these 2. Analyze these 3, what it will do. Let us say we are having the blank memory here. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. This is row size, this is column size. Forget about this. Fine. this is 0, this is 2, 0, 1, 2. Now what it is saying, a of 0 and 0, a of 0, 0. So a of 0 is 0, this is 0 and this is 0, row is 0, column is 0. So it would remove 0 from here. Instead, what it would do, it would insert 1 into this index. So let me, so it would remove, okay, let me do it this way. It would remove 0 from here. Rather than this, it would store 1 here. Let us suppose if I want to insert what this line says. So a of 0 of 1, a of 0 is this, and 0 row, first column, I want to insert 2. So it would erase this 0. Instead of this, it would insert 2 here. Let us see for this line what it would do. A of 0, 2. So row is 0, column is 2. So it would erase 0 from here and insert 3 instead of 0. So this way I can fill all the values of first row and all the columns. This way I can fill all the columns. So if you can think of this, we can achieve the same functionality using the loop also, because we are iterating over each column of 0th row. So let us see how we can do the same thing using a loop. So I would write a loop, int I is, let us call it as j. I will tell you the reason, and go till the column size, because we have to fill all the columns of first row at j++. Now what I have to do is, let us a of 0, because we want to fill all the columns of 0th row, a of j, and let us insert 5 in all the columns. 5. Analyze this line, what it will do. So let us suppose we were having this array 0, 0, 0, and this is second index, first index, and 0 is index. Fine. Now what I have to do is, so starting from 0 going till call size is 3, so we have written the condition j less than 3, so it would go till 2 only, so till 2. So now what it will do for us, a of 0 of 0, initially j is 0, so a of 0 is 0, 5. Now j value would be increased, a of 0, 1, j is 1, so a of 0, 1, again 5. A of 0, 2, j is 2 now, so 5. Now j is 3, so this condition would be terminated and loop would be executed till here. So this is the insertion part, and let us say you have to print all the values of 0th row and all the columns. So very similar to this. Let us see how I am going to write the code for this. So for int I, j is equal to 0, j is equal to call size, because I want to print all the columns values of first row. So 0th row and jth column, because j would be traversing from 0 to the column size. And instead of print line, I would use print, and I would have to write some space also. So let us forget about these lines for now. Look into these lines. This loop is inserting 5 on each column of the first row, and this loop is printing each column value of the first row. So let us see what we are going to see in the output. We are going to see 5, 5, 5. Why? Let me tell you. Because in the first row, in each column, we are inserting the 5. So let us break it and move it top. Now, let us say I want to enter 3 and 3. 3 size, 3 is the row size and 3 is the column size. So we should get 5, 5, 5 3 times. So you can see we are getting 5, 5, 5 4 times, because we are printing this also. So if we would comment down these lines, then we would get the expected output. Let us see. So I am entering 3 and 3, so you can see I am getting 5, 5, 5, all the columns values of first row. So why this, why all this theory I just explained to you? Let us see a very important questions or solution, or you can say an algorithm also. If I have to, let us not erase this. If I have to take input from the user for complete array, let us say I have taken the size of the rows and size of the columns also from the user. So I am declaring the array. So what it would create for us, it would create this memory with this. Let us say I have entered 4 row size and 4 column size, or 3 column size. Let us like this. So it would create a memory for us. I want that all the values should be filled dynamically, and user should enter values, and the value should be entering into this, and this is filled, then this. So I want you to think how we can write the logic for this, and then you can pause from here. I'm writing the logic for the same. Fine. Now let us erase this at least. See it very carefully, because 8 to 10 programs are related to this concept only. So you should be aware how we can take input from the user and how we can print the 2D array onto the user screen. So let us see what I am going to write. I would be writing my loop from I is equal to 0, and usually while accessing 2D arrays or printing 2D arrays, we used to pick up two variables, I and j. I points actually the row and j points to the columns. You can name it as like anything you can name them, but the standard way is like I and j, using I and j. So I would be writing a loop for accessing row size. Like this loop will go till all of the rows which we have. Fine. And the inner loop, I would be writing inner loop also. J would go for all the columns. So what this loop says is, let us say I have this. So what it will do, it will initialize I from 0 and go till row size, which is in this case 0, 1, 2. So row size is 3, so it would go till 2, because we are writing less conditions. And here 0, 1, 2, 3. So it would go till 3, but the size of columns is 4. So for first row, we are writing one more loop. So for first row, it would go till all the columns. You can see here we are going all the columns. For second row also, again we are going for all the columns. For third row also, we are going for all the columns. So this way we would be able to iterate or access our all the columns of our particular this 2D array. Like while this condition would be executed, this one, then we would be accessing all the elements of first columns, all the columns. If this is, this is I is 1, then we would be accessing all the columns of first row. So this is the condition for this. Let us erase this. Fine. Let's see what I am, and let us draw the space at least. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is 3 into 4 matrix or 2D array. Fine. What I have to do is, my name of the array is A, array of I, which is row, array of j, which is column. I want user should enter a value, next int, and I want to store that value on the particular or respective indexes. Let us see what it is doing. Initially I is 0, j is 0. It is like it will take input from the user and store here. Now j is 1, I is 0, so it would store here, it will store here, it will store here. So if I increase, then and now this loop would again execute. So j is again 0, so we would come here, I is 1, j is 0, so we would come here. So this way it will fill all the values of this 2D array. So I hope it is clear to you. I am going very deep of this accessing or printing this 2D array. So this way we would be able to take input from the user for this complete 2D array. And let us suppose if you have to print all the elements of this particular 2D array. So let us see how we can print it. So we would do the exact same thing as we have done in the taken input. We would go till each row, and for each row we would go till each column also. So col size j++, and inside this we would be just printing the elements of this particular row and particular column. So here I just have to write I, not for 0th row. I have to print all the elements of this particular row of this column. Fine. And after printing each row, all the values of one row, then I have to break a line also, so that our output should be clearly visible, or you can say the align into a matrix form, because we used to define our 2D array in the form of matrix only. Like it helps us to understand more clearly the concept of 2D arrays. So this way it would be able to print all the values of this 2D array. So let us see this whether this is working or not. So this is the code for this, and let us erase this also. So let us see whether this is working or not, and let us give it a run, and let us see how I am going to enter the values for this. So I have to enter the row size, which is, let us say, 3, and now I have to enter the column size, let us say, which is 4. Now I have made an enter. Now it is expecting me to enter 3 rows. Like by this till now, what it has done, row size is 3 and column size is 4. Now it has created an array of 3 rows and 4 columns. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. And all the elements are 0 initially, because in Java we used to have 0 elements by default. Fine. So now it is expecting me to enter 3 into 4, 12 values for inserting into this array. And so I will entering 12 values. Let us see. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is for first row. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is for second row. 9, 10, 11, 12. This is for third row. So we have entered 3 rows and 4 columns. Now you should expect the same output after this. I am hitting enter. So now you can see it has printed the exact same output for us, whatever we have entered into the matrix. That means our program is working fine and we have written the correct code. And this is how you can access the element inside, from the 2D array, and you can insert the element into the 2D array. So using these approaches, we would be able to solve the questions of 2D array. This was the logic how we can access, or how we can print, or how we can insert the value inside the 2D arrays. So by using this approach, we would be able to solve all the questions. So that's it for this particular video. And if you have any questions regarding to this, then you should comment down below. Or one recommendation I would have for you, that you should reiterate the video. Whatever I have just explained to you, it is almost 30-minute video. So it is the lengthy one, but it clears the many concept of many peoples. So I hope it is very useful to you. If you have learned anything from this particular video, then hit the like button, and if you are new to this channel, then hit the subscribe button also. And I will see you in the next video of the 2D arrays. Thank you.